Do you know why we sow jaw or bale on the first day of Navratri? No festival, no ritual in Sanatan Dharma is insignificant. Each practice has a meaning, a scientific reason, a story, and moreover, a deeper revelation of the continuity of our history. People of the land where the Veds were revealed to the rishis, the direct descendants of the Saraswati Sindhu Sabhyata, the Punjabis, have religiously maintained the tradition of sowing jaw on Navratri and they call it Khetri. Khetri because jaw is known as the first crop cultivated by the gods on the banks of the river Saraswati for the benefit of mankind. Jaw was associated with Indra, the master whose farmers were the Maruts, which means that jaw was a rain-fed crop. But our Rigvedic ancestors were not just dependent on the rains, they knew the utilization of rainwater. They dug wells and drew water for their fields with a series of buckets fastened to the stone wheel. For irrigation, they used water of the small streams made by rain by lifting it with droni, means a bucket. Sowing jaw is a reminder of the continuity of the ancient most civilization, the opulent and developed Saraswati civilization. The rich waters of Saraswati irrigated Punjab, Sindh, Rajasthan, and Saurashtra by its copious surface flow and by subsoil flow. The Rigvedic people could differentiate Apnaswati, meaning the fertile land, from Aratana, meaning barren land that they called jungle. They could detect the riverine tract called Anupa and Anusara, meaning non-alkaline cultivatable land, and Usara, meaning non-cultivatable infertile alkaline land. Unlike the present-day commercialization of agriculture, the Rigvedic Arya imposed divinity on every condition of nature. All agricultural operations were given a spiritual domination. Kshetrapati, the presiding deity of agriculture, Rudra or Agni, supervised all the agricultural activities. Chaturmasya Yagya were performed at the beginning of 3 seasons of 4 months each with the offerings of crop made to the Vishwadeva. They respected nature and Mother Earth. Our ancestors were well aware that the restorative plants fixed the exhausted nitrogen in the field and hence grew grain and legumes in rotation. Birds were driven away by din, meaning discorded, loud, and continued noise. The technically advanced Arya used iron tools like sickle, axe, hull, darata, etc. Iron finds its first mention in the Rigveda. It's obvious that the world civilization wouldn't have been what it is today without iron technology introduced by the Hindus. The metal cakes that we exported were forged into swords and daggers with a blotched pattern called Muhammad's ladder by the Arabs, claiming the Indian innovation of steel as Damascus steel. Coming back to cultivation, the Rigvedic people grew various crops in the same field. Furrows were made in grid pattern, 12 lines were made by a plough drawn by 12 oxen and arranged in a way that 3 lines were vertical, 3 horizontal running over them, and the other 6 were crisscross. Yavasa, the ancestral grass, also was grown for cow fodder. Animals were domesticated for pastoralism and agriculture. Animal manure and green manure like Arjun tree wood chips, barley husk, sesame blossom, etc. were used for fertilization of soil and restoring nitrogen. They even treated their seeds before sowing them. Jaw seeds were soaked in ghee and honey, and mantra were recited while sowing, reaping, and storing crop in vessels. Crop was transported too. All the operations from sowing to storing were carried out with mantra, the recital of songs of praises to Narayan. The ritual of sowing jaw on the first day of Navratri, caring and raising the seeds with the reverence for 9 days was only to remind us of the first ever settled agriculture and its importance in the land of rivers. When 60% of the world's population depends on agriculture for survival, why can't India, the pioneer of farming, be the leader in crop production and seed improvement? Think. Shubh Navratri.